Thank you and welcome everyone to our final session of the last day of Athens Go Latencies Conference 2024. The subject today will be nutrition, wellness, and human evolution. I'm your coordinator, Panos Kavalas, and before we proceed, I would advise everyone to stick to the 15-minute allocated time. And since I'm coordinating, I will be ringing a bell 2 minutes prior to your allocated time ending. I think Mrs. Pavlakou, Dr. Pavlakou is substituted by Sofia Kotsini. So, Sofia, will do a brief presentation of you and then you may proceed. Sofia is a European Research Programs Assistant at the New Year College. Am I right?
Of course, yes.
She has a master in adult education and development. She's a certified adult trainer and an educational counselor. It's good to have you with us. Please proceed. The stage is yours.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Sofia Kotsini, as Panos said, Dr. Pavlakou's assistant, and I'm taking part in this conference on behalf of her. She sends her kind regards, and she's sorry she can't be here today, as she has two presentations of her current research at the International Conference of the Dutch Human Resources Management Network in the Netherlands. Let me share my presentation. Just a minute, please. Okay, here we are. Okay, is it okay for everybody? Yes, can you see my presentation? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
The following presentation is titled Fostering Digital Skills of Employees for a Better Working Environment, and it focuses on the role of AI applications. And as I can say, it's based on Dr. Pavlakou's postdoc research. Nowadays, it is a fact that modern working environment has integrated several strategies in order to enhance the employees' digital skills so as to improve innovation, productivity, and overall success. Just a minute, please. Okay. Human resources management executives have identified this necessity, so they aim at promoting applications such as artificial intelligence that offer a range of capabilities enriching the employee's experience as follows, as we're going to see. As far as digital skills in the modern working environment are concerned, employees must be adept at interpreting data related to their performance and that of their teams. And since remote and hybrid work models becoming the norm, effective communication has never been more critical. Employees need to navigate various digital communication tools and platforms, recognize effective communication styles, and understand how to foster communication across distances. Furthermore, I would like to point out, and it's very important, that every employee has unique learning preferences which can impact on their engagement and retention of information. So digital transformation highly contributes to adapting to learning preferences. Recognizing these differences is essential for fostering a productive learning environment. As for the role of AI-powered tools, let's say AI can analyze individual performance data and learning preferences to create tailored learning pathways. These AI tools can adapt in real time based on user interactions. As employees engage with content, the system can assess their understanding and adjust the difficulty of tasks accordingly, ensuring an optimal learning curve. In addition to that, by incorporating gamification elements, interactive content, and real-time feedback, AI-driven learning platforms can significantly boost employee motivation and engagement. And they can provide ongoing feedback to employees, allowing them to track their progress and identify areas for further development and improvement. This interactive approach, of course, makes learning more enjoyable and fun. By harnessing AI applications for digital skills development, organizations can enrich employees' toolkits and promote also professional growth in several ways. Firstly, employees feel more empowered when they can pursue personalized learning paths that align with their career aspirations. And as they develop their digital skills, they become better equipped to collaborate effectively in teams, leading to improved project outcomes and, of course, innovation. Overall, investing in digital skills ensures that the workforce is prepared for future challenges. And as technology continues to evolve, organizations that prioritize skills development will have a competitive edge in the future and in the working environment. In this digital age, chatbots and virtual assistants have emerged as vital tools in facilitating interactions between customers, both existing and potential, and companies. These AI-driven technologies play a major role in enhancing customer experience and engagement across various online platforms. Chatbots and virtual assistants can improve support and communication with customers due to their round-the-clock availability. Chatbots also provide instant responses to frequently asked questions, allowing customers to receive the information they need without any delay and by handling routine inquiries and support tasks. Additionally, they free up human personnel to focus on more complex issues that require human intervention. As business grows, so do customer inquiries. So chatbots can handle large volume of requests simultaneously, ensuring that no customer feels neglected during peak times. The interaction with chatbots not only increases efficiency, but also significantly improves the overall customer experience. Advanced AI chatbots can use customer data to offer personalized recommendations and solutions, and they can initiate conversation based on customer behavior, such as abandoned carts or inactivity on a website. Feedback mechanisms integrated into chatbot interactions are crucial for both customer experience and satisfaction, of course, and employee performance. Chatbots can gather valuable feedback regarding customer experiences, preferences, and pain points. And the information collected from customer interactions helps employees assess their performance. Without any doubt, insights gained from feedback allow organizations to anticipate and address potential issues proactively. AI system can also analyze employee data. Surveys, feedback forms, and pulse checks can provide a major data on employee satisfaction, motivation, and overall engagement, and can be collected from performance tracking tools, project management software, and time tracking systems, offering insights into individual and team productivity. Analysis of collaboration patterns, communication frequency, and interpersonal relationships can reveal insights into how teams work together, including any potential silos or disconnects. Organizations also use various tools and platforms, including human resources analytics software and business intelligence tools, to aggregate and analyze this data efficiently. In this way, these tools enable executives to visualize trends and patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed, make more informed decisions, and tailor strategies to improve employee satisfaction and organizational behavior. By analyzing engagement metrics, executives can pinpoint what drives employee satisfaction and motivation. And insights into productivity levels can inform the design of initiatives that cater to different teams or departments. Also, data analysis can help identify common challenges faced by employees. Last but not least, understanding team dynamics through data allows for the identification of diversity and inclusion gaps, and by tracking the effectiveness of implemented strategies through ongoing data analysis, organizations can measure the impact of their engagement initiatives. Let's go to ethical consideration now. Digital ethics involves examining the moral principles and standards that govern the use of digital technologies. Understanding digital ethics encompasses various aspects, including privacy, data protection, algorithmic bias, transparency, and accountability. And as AI systems become integral to decision-making processes, organizations must navigate the ethical dilemmas that arise from their deployment. Organizations, of course, must comply with legal frameworks such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and other relevant laws that protect employee information. This includes encryption, access control, a regular audit to identify vulnerabilities. Organizations in this way foster a culture of cybersecurity awareness among employees to minimize the risks associated with data breaches. AI tools can also enhance the performance evaluation process by providing data-driven insights. However, HR professionals must maintain human oversight to ensure that evaluations are fair and consider factors that AI might overlook. This includes context about individual performance and contributions that may not be captured in data alone. AI can assist also in identifying potential candidates for promotions or new roles based on performance data. However, it's crucial for HR professionals to intervene in this process to mitigate the risk of bias. AI systems can sometimes unintentionally reinforce the biases that already exist in the training data. By maintaining human oversight, organizations can ensure that diversity and inclusion efforts are prioritized and ensure fairness and equity in AI applications. Developing clear ethical guidelines for the use of AI in digital technologies is crucial. Therefore, organizations should invest in training programs to educate employees about digital ethics, data protection, and the ethical implications of AI. Developing clear ethical guidelines for the use of AI and digital technologies is major and crucial too. Promoting transparency, AI processes and decisions fosters trust among employees. And completing the presentation, I would like to say that the integration of AI applications into employee development is not just about enhancing digital skills. It's about fostering a thriving, innovative, and ethically sound workplace. By embracing these technologies, organizations can build a workforce that is not only digitally proficient, but also motivated and engaged, ultimately leading to improved productivity and a more positive work culture. Overall, the commitment to ethical practices and human rights will further solidify an organization's reputation as a leader in the modern responsible business landscape. And next, there is a list of the references used in this presentation for your information. You can have a look for some seconds. Okay. And last but not least, I'd like to thank you very much for your time and attention on behalf of Dr. Evgenia Pavlakou and congratulate the organizers on the high-level organization and the delegates for their interesting approaches. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
too.
Sophia.
Thank you very much.
We've reached the point where the rest of the panelists and viewers can address their questions. So if you please have questions, you may address them now. Taking a few seconds of silence, I guess we don't have any questions, or if you have some, you may address them at the end of this session. So we are proceeding, and I'm very, very happy to introduce you to Mario Notas. Mr. Notas is the head of the European Communications Institute in Vienna, Austria. He's our next speaker. He's a scholar, education activist, journalist, and technology, a very diverse scientist and persona. He has studied sociology, economics, and communication science at the Dury College and at Boston University. He will be talking about his presentation title is Metamorphic Threats, Natural versus Social Change. Seems to be quite interesting, and we're all ears. Mr. Notas, the stage is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, this is a threatening title because it sounds so important, metamorphic threat of natural versus social. Anyway, before I indulge into it and make my best to not exceed the 15 minutes limit, let me also share my thanks, offer my thanks to everyone in Athens Schools Athens for such an open culture, for such a stamina, for doing so much based on a vision of, initially, of one man. Thank you, George Psathas. Let me also thank our moderator, Mr. Gavalas. For those who don't know him, he is very instrumental in the Google relationship. So a big thank you to dear Panos for all your efforts.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. I will not be using a PowerPoint presentation in order to preserve our eye-to-eye contact, our one-to-one communication. The main theme today, what we're going to be looking at, is how metamorphosis, which is originally a concept that applies to nature, how it applies to social phenomena with a twist. How it works as an accelerator into all human constructions, mental, physical, intellectual, spiritual, whatever, however, limiting human control. We're going to be arguing that the only thing we can do about this is make sure we have educated multidisciplinary prognosis or foresight. My introduction today is about foresight. We further suggest that we need to institutionally incorporate foresight in governance. We're talking about scientific foresight, multidisciplinary foresight, necessary to downsize problems and maximize citizen and human wellness. And I guess this is why my introduction today is within the wellness part of our conference. Well, the very first trait of metamorphosis is that it implies a radical change of state. A metamorphosis is not a change. A metamorphosis means that something changes radically into something else. It refers to a developing entity into or towards to increased complexity. In evolution, it is a next step. It means that it implies complete abandonment of the old in favor of the new. Therefore, if we were going to be looking into social change symmetrically, we suggest that the exact same principles apply. A key question in any foresight analysis about social and not natural phenomena has to be whether a social organism, any social group, any social initiative, any society, any small or grander formation can, or whether it will behave in an evolutionary manner, since we have a large-scale transition, a metamorphosis. Why are we distinguishing? What do we call an evolutionary manner? An evolutionary manner is smooth. An evolutionary manner implies no danger. An evolutionary manner happens because of a divine force, because of another intelligence much higher than that of man's. Therefore, things happen smoothly. Therefore, we have a philosophical question arising. While nature makes the choice, such a wise choice, and takes a shortcut, takes the most economic road because nature economizes, we all know that. While it makes a choice towards what is better or what is fitter, according to the evolution theory, it remains unknown whether massive knowledge-driven societal developments take into account whether they measure, whether they forecast any of the shortcomings of radical change, because speed is of essence here. Radical change is a very central concept. Well, we have all witnessed what has happened recently, especially in the last half century, how information technologies, I will be referring to them as IT, information technologies, IT, how they reshape our societies, how they reshape our economies, our culture, our everyday life, our way of thinking, even our habits. Now, this factor, this IT, for our discussion, multi-metamorphic factor, what are its significant traits? Well, it's three of them. It's rapidity, universality, and rigidity. So we take them one by one. Rapidity, we're all witnessing, everything happens so fast. We have technologies replacing technologies. There is hardly the time to absorb and use, for example, a certain application and the changes. We are all very familiar with our work environment changing so rapidly, even if it implies the actual work suite that we are all so familiar with, and before we can be productive, it totally changes. Rapidity everywhere. Universality. The IT metamorphic factor is universal. It's borderless. Its implications are not local. They are global. So we have to keep this in mind. The third one is rigidity, and this is a little bit more complicated than it sounds. Rigidity actually refers to lack of flexibility. In our analysis, it is the inability of the restoration of the old status quo. It's the inability to go back to what it was. In the modern use of the term resilience, we practically talk about zero resilience. And since this is not a very familiar term to translate into Greek, let me try to give a good translation of the term, which is ανακαμψιμότητα. Στο Ινστιτούτο το έχουμε μεταφράσει και σαν προσαρμοστική ανάκαμψη ή και ευελιξία, αλλά η ακριβής χρήση του όρου είναι ανακαμψιμότητα. So we're talking about zero resilience. However, it's with a twist again. It's backward rigid and not forward rigid. What did I say? It's backward rigid, not forward rigid. We can't go back, but we're very volatile, very easy to change forward. Let's look into this for a moment. This new status quo, when we have the metamorphic effect, seems to have its own rules. Its backward resilience goes hand in hand with the paradox of an inherent volatility. Έχει ένα ευάλωτον ενσωματωμένο, έχει μια δεδομένη αδυναμία. It can be easily replaced, the metamorphic effect, the new outcome rather of the metamorphic effect, can be easily replaced by an upcoming trend, an upcoming development, an upcoming new technology, an upcoming fad, an upcoming social attitude, if you like. And it's funny, we're making this, we communicate today when Trump has just been elected, and you can see, and you will be witnessing in the next few days, weeks, and months, how established attitudes, for example, towards Trump's ideology will be rapidly changing form, going into metamorphosis. Remember that we're talking about social systems today, and we're trying to establish a certain relationship and then analogies with nature. Then what did we just talk about? We talked about permanence versus volatility, and we're looking at both phenomena at the same time, one looking towards the past, the other one looking in the future, whenever we witness metamorphic phenomena. However, and this is what we're going to be looking at for the remaining of this presentation today, this comes with a number of traumas, traumata in Greek, traumas. Well, we have, for example, I tried to group a number of traumas for you in the economic arena, in the workforce, and in education. And it's very easy to observe. We're all familiar with what happens as rapid change progresses. In the economic arena, there is a minimal window, a very small time window for research to pay for itself. Its most grandiose victims are public research institutions and universities. For example, as it is being born, it is being replaced before it is being capitalized. In other words, especially with Greek university mentalities, where they practically make no money, let's say, out of the wonderful outcomes of their students and faculty achievements, it's even worse, because by the time, for example, that you manage to create a spin-off in Greek universities, your actual advantage has been lost. In the economic arena, it's even worse. Even in the private sector, we're all used to listen about those 10, 20, 30 very big companies, especially in the IT sector, in the information technology sector. 50, yes, it may be 50. That, they're such great success stories, and they manage to stay on top, and they manage to make money from the technologies that they bring about, and so on. However, for each one of them, there are thousands others that by the time their product goes into the market and it's being utilized, it's being absorbed in the market, there's hardly any time to capitalize and be encouraged to develop new products. The luckiest of those smaller efforts manage to sell their products into the big ones. However, what I'm saying here is that the metamorphic effect, because of its rapidity, there are repercussions, there are traumas in the economic arena. In education, it enforces new rules, new time intervals. New knowledge has to be taught, it has to be learned faster and faster in smaller time intervals. Elementary school, which has to be a playground, which has to be an introduction to a disciplined learning environment, it can be traumatic, especially in those that we call good schools, because exactly they're so demanding, because there's so much to be learned. It's because knowledge changes so fast, because the burden of what has to be learned becomes greater and greater. Therefore, more is demanded from the youngest. Middle education suffers from the same trauma, and vocational education as well. I already talked about universities and how hard it can get on faculty and students. In the workforce, we have an ongoing develop or adapt, develop or die culture. This is a mentality that comes about with
Sorry, Mr. Notas, you have one more minute.
1 minute left. Yes.
Did I really manage? All right, I'm glad that we're going to have our introductions published. So, well, you can imagine what happens in the workforce. There's a mentality that favors change, and this is a productive way to go about it, and this produces traumas as well. And this is not all. However, I will totally skip the part about artificial intelligence and how it is injected into the problem, and practically all of us during the 3 days have dealt with this problem, more or less. All I have to say is, trying to close it, is that foresight becomes a necessity and a discipline in its own respect. One requiring interdisciplinary skills, trained algorithms, artificial intelligence access, and skilled support staff. And unless central governance has the means and brains to produce foresight-driven policy, both the local effect, and I'm talking about Greece now, much less about Austria, although the two are in analogy, both the local effect and the collective effect, but by collective effect, I mean the European effect on Greek policy, will be catastrophic. And this is a Greek word used widely. I noticed even in Turkey. Well, and last but certainly not least is the ethical question. We come across it so many times in the Athens Calls Athens conference regarding the universality of the benefits involved. Will the fruits of the new planetary brain be used in a morally responsible way that will ensure a balanced, uplifted human being? Will these fruits be dispersed everywhere on our planet, or are we creating a new kind of planetary segregations between the haves and the have-nots? I wanted to speak a little bit about Thomas Malthus and his principle. It will be interesting to check him out, as he thinks that natural catastrophes, even wars, are part of our normality, and it's a way to actually control human population.
Mr. Notas, please conclude.
I am concluding. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Therefore, unless we immediately develop educated, interdisciplinary foresight methods embracing developments like the one discussed, and unless we universally apply humanistic principles, we will be unable to monitor transformation, and we will be unable to suggest viable, ethically driven policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Notas. Time persisting, we will proceed with Professor Kono. Please, if you have questions, you may address them at the end of this session. So I will be presenting now, and I'm a personal fan, Professor Kono. Professor Kono, he's a professor of Tama Graduate School of Management at Tokyo, a specially appointed professor of Graduate School of System Design and Management at Keio University. To me, I will make an introduction for you. Professor Kono is a prominent figure in the field of management organization studies, known for his innovative concepts surrounding purpose engineering, and his work, as far as I'm concerned, as another fan, emphasizes on the importance of integrating purpose into managerial practices. This is why I mainly follow him as a management figure myself, particularly in the context of Japanese firms that have faced long-term economic stagnation. Professor Kono describes himself as a knowledge ecologist and an amphibia, as he belongs to both academic and practice worlds, and design and management fields. His background is architecture. Professor Kono, we're very, very happy to have you here. The stage is yours. Please proceed.
Thank you very much. Sorry for confusion. I'm now presenting from Tokyo. Tokyo is almost 8 o'clock. And with my Konstantinos Kalemis, and I visited Athens this April and had a very, very memorable week. And then we talked about something similar in common. That was Topos place. So today I picked up a place, but a virtual place, which is virtual reality, to what kind of bridges we can make together from the Greece and the Japan. I tried to share my screen. Allow me to spend some time. Can you see my slide? Yes?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
yes, in fact.
Okay. Something wrong is going on, which is that I'm not able to make it in the presentation mode. So if you like, I just like to keep like this, and if you don't mind.
Nope.
Okay. My interest in research, one of my interests is place. Ba, Japanese word ba, which is almost similar to topos in Greek terminology. But this presentation is not about virtual reality techniques. It is about the restoration of humanity in the digital society. In particular, I'm interested in how we can overcome the dualistic worldview that is the foundation of modern technology and tendency to divide humans and nature. The question is whether we can expect virtual reality or augmented reality to serve as a third or fourth semantic living space. My background is, by the way, design and innovation and ecosystem as introduced. So let's see how we can go. Yeah. So this is where the story begins. In order to deal with the declining birth rate and the aging population, as well as the significant decline in population, the Japanese government has proposed a vision for the society, which is future society, which is society 5.0, that makes use of technology such as AI, robotics, IoT, and virtual reality. But how can we materialize such technologies without sacrificing human nature? The key feature is the comprehensive integration of cyberspace and physical spaces. Traditional or ordinary or basic technological approach to virtual reality is the left-hand kind of a picture, is to connect data world in human actions through interface. It is operationally rational and functional. However, how can humans enrich their life in society 5.0? When it comes to the quality of life application, with VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality, it is critical to establish the new meaning world, integrating real world and data world, which is on the right figure. As we all know, virtual reality, VR, has seen tremendous advancements over the past few decades, evolving from simple rudimentary systems into highly sophisticated platforms capable of creating immersive experiences that blur the lines between the digital and the physical worlds. However, as this technology advances, it is crucial to consider its impact on the inner spiritual life of human individuals. Virtual reality is not a virtual space that differs from reality, but an extension of our real world. And it can be seen as a symbol world or semantic world in its own right. That means that we can say VR is virtually the digital transformation of the living world. It's the digital transformation of our world. That's virtual reality. DX, or digital transformation, is not just digitalizing something such as workflow or physical space, the interpretation. But original meaning of DX, digital transformation, is to apply digital technology for society, or business, or economics transformation that enriches human inner spiritual experiences without being consumed by it. So therefore, here, user experience, UX design, is the basis for the design of virtual spaces. We design experiences in a virtual space. That's the essence, as you know. This is the design of the interaction between users and objects in a virtual space, the design of a series of experiences or experience flows, journeys within the space, and can generally be described as narrative design. It is narrative design for aesthetic experience. as the original concept of DX was proposed by Professor Stolterman, Windmill University, then now are at the Indiana University, that the digital transformation can be understood as the changes that digital technology causes or influences in all aspects of human life for betterment. Here we can apply now the theory or theoretical framework of biosemiotics as a model of the meaning world. Biosemiotics is a field of study that explores the production and interpretation of signs and symbols in living systems, examining how meaning is created, interpreted, and transmitted across various aspects of our life. Professor Khaled Kuhl, a prominent biosemioticien, posits that all living organisms communicate, interpret, and respond to signs in their environments. This concept goes beyond the human language, arguing that semiotic processes are fundamental to life itself, from single-cell organisms to complex animals and humans. Based on this view, real world and virtual world are the same as the man's outer world, but both connected with its inner world through signs. The fusion of digital and real space enriches the possibilities for the generation of inner meaning in human beings. Our American philosopher, of pragmatism, Charles Sanders Peirce, his idea of semiotics is foundation of biosemiotics. Biosemiotics applies Charles Peirce triadic model to biological systems, viewing living organisms as interpreters of signs. In this framework, a sign can be seen, is interpreted as an object, as a resultant response or behavior, which is interpretant. The interpretant is the fact or understanding generated by the sign-object relationship within the interpreter. Peirce's philosophy emphasized the principle of continuity, or synergism, which holds the mental and physical phenomena are continuous with each other. It's not about dichotomy between self and others. Biosemiotics adopts this idea by acknowledging that each organism has a unique way of interpreting signs in its environment or umwelt from Uexkill's ideas of life world. Biosemiotics shows how organisms live unique roles of meaning defined by their perceptual or interpretive frameworks. Here, I'd like to introduce the Japanese traditional poetry waka. Of course, Greek tradition has a great, Greece has great tradition of poetry, of dramas, legends. But in Japanese, we have another different tradition of poetry, which is waka, which is like a singing. We can apply biosemiotic concept to design users' experiences or virtual reality. And here we can adopt method of waka, this Japanese traditional poetry. Waka consists of 31 syllables, 5, 7, 5, 7, 7, and describe nature, love, and life. It is important as a means of emotional expression and cultural transition. As you know, the creation of poetry has also been a subject for artificial intelligence already. we discuss how to richly utilize the world of virtual reality through the concept of generating ba or place or topos, viewing waka, the poetry system, not merely as a hobby or word entertainment, but as one of the creative and sustaining functions of human society. Waka, the traditional the poetry, provides an algorithm for drawing out users' aesthetic production and communication by borrowing ready-made spatial forms. For example, a place like the Japanese gardens might be desirable. What is waka? As I said, waka consists of 31 syllables, 57577, with upper set of 3 word sets and the lower 2 sets. So, of course, you don't understand, but it sounds like Chihayaburu kami o mo kikazu tatsutagawa. This is upper. Karakurenai ni mizu kukuru to wa. Might sound like the ancient Greek poem, but they, of course, different meaning. But this is waka structure and how it sounds like. And this example shows even in the olden days, when the gods were said to have lived, I have never heard of anything so strange. The Tatsuta River, with its brilliant autumn leaves, which is red, floating on the water, looks like as if the river water has turned all red. This is kind of things. But this is a kind of a superficial meaning, and the deeper meaning is about love and so on. So it is describing nature, love, and life using landscape, time, season, and feeling to express the deepest emotional force. But they're all like a vocabulary and the thesaurus. So you can play out making waka by using these database in a way. So you can express the deepest emotional thoughts and share this emotion collectively using this framework. It is kind of a play about the verse. So this is the art of topos or ba. Waka is algorithms, as I said, and framework that combines place, landscape, and emotion, mind. Create a mental landscape that expresses deeper emotions. Although waka is deeply rooted in the Japanese language, the following the characteristics suggest that it is a framework that can be utilized even when not mediated or expressed by or in the Japanese language. Waka are essentially like songs based on nonverbal emotional communication, formats such as 57577 with rules for the deep emotional expressions. And it is different from Western Europe. Waka poetry has a historical background that is not only elites, but for the people. So also, waka is the poem or poetry of a field or bar or topos. So that's a kind of the framework algorithm, even if they are not expressed in Japanese language. It's a kind of a system of combining landscape, time, season, and emotional elements and make it into our play system. So waka is the art of topos. it's an immersive way of expressing your emotion. It is a crucial apparatus that brings out our deeper emotions into shared meaning world, but at the same time, it overcomes the separation between you and I, dichotomy. It's the integration of yourself into the nature, which is based on Eastern traditional thinking. Oops. You can see that this is going to be my last slide, but you don't see that some important figure here. Finally, we can apply WAKA framework to design virtual reality from a biosemiotic perspective. Virtual reality is not just about creating virtual worlds, not just the virtual cyberspace. It is a means of expanding human perception and cognitive experience. We can use this algorithm to design user experience for in the cyberspace or virtual reality. Therefore, we could restore our humanity and reconnect humans with nature by enhancing our inner aesthetic values through the use of biosemiotics and WAKA poetry methods that transcend the holistic worldview. Topos is not just about rhetoric, but about poetic place, cultural memory, meaningful location, multi-layers of meaning, place as symbol and signs. So maybe we can bridge concept of topos and WAKA, and we can work together to deepen our understanding of place, meaning, and nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. I do have a question to start with, providing that we do have any questions. I mean, just one. And referring to your work, I will read it out loud. You can see it in the chat options. Now, Professor Cannon, what future trends do you anticipate in the integration of UX and TX within VR frameworks, particularly concerning their application in fields influenced by biosemiotics, and how should big IT vendors prepare or educate their managerial staff to adapt to these trends and remain competitive in the future?
Sorry, I couldn't capture all your words because of some of some noises here. So you're asking.
I do understand it is cracking up. It's you can look it up on the chat room on the chat options. I do have it written down just for the sake of making sure that we keep on the same wavelength.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. That helps.
Okay.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm bringing the two the spheres through this my small talk, which that in Japan sometimes digital transformation is misunderstood as just digitalizing something, but instead, digital transformation is really about our inner aesthetics. That means customer experience. So if you want to accomplish the digital transformation for business, you have to start with customer experience. Then you have to touch upon inner aesthetic, the sphere of the customers. Then you can build on your business structure, etc., and using digital technology to realize or materialize them. That's one point. And also, in a virtual world, like a virtual reality, it's not just about entertainment world, but something we can use to overcome our roles separation and the distortion and the dichotomic kind of situation. So we can use virtual reality using this kind of a metaphor to create a better world. So virtual reality with AI could be one of the subsystems that might save our society in the future. That's my point. Did I touch upon some, make some answers with this?
I beg your pardon. The connection is cracking up.
Did I answer you right?
Yes, you did, and I was about to make a point. Biosemiotics is a field that needs to be further examined by IT vendors. That's my personal opinion. And in terms of linking it towards their total quality management systems and the way they use total quality management to interact with their customers and their addressable market in order to make it a proper obtainable market, since we are talking AI and high-tech customers in the future. So this is the main reason why I say.
I see.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm fully covered.
Also,
Mr. Mario Notas. Oh, sorry. Please
Sorry.
proceed, Professor.
Also, one thing, biosemiotics is a continuous worldview that is very different from Western dichotomic worldview, which is close to ancient Greek, maybe, and the Eastern world. So that we can share through the concept of topos. You have a special mode of language, which is intermediary or middle voice in the traditional Greek. So that's that kind of thing we have in common, because we just don't use sometimes subjects, but we use predicative language to share our activities and thoughts, which is similar, not similar, but connected to something ancient language systems, which is Old Greek. Yeah, that's biosemiotics. That's why I'm interested in biosemiotics.
Very fair point. Very fair point. Thank you, Professor. Mr. Mario Notas has a question. Please proceed, Mr. Notas.
Thank you. Professor Noboru, really interesting. I was wondering, this integrating anti-dichotomic, you're using so much Greek, by the way, view of yours, makes me think that your use of the term topos certainly does not mean place. Apparently, you're using it in the geometric fashion, right? It's a group of points with common characteristics.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. No one in Greece is familiar with that use of the word.
I mean, you're Greek, so I'm not preaching you about topos, of course not. But we understand that topos is a great concept because it's a source of a topic, topology, and they have multi-layer medium topos, which is close to Japanese concept of place. So that's why I'm interested in topos. Thank you very much. Very kind word.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Mr. Notas, for making these notes. I see we don't have any more questions to be addressed to Professor Kono. Hence, we will proceed with Dr. Maritza Evangelia. And I will make a short introduction on her behalf. Last but not least, Dr. Evangelia Maritza is a distinguished professional with extensive experience in leadership, public administration, and military contexts. Currently, she serves as the Secretary General, PR and Etiquette, and Secretary of the Board of Directors at the Athens Naval Hospital. Her multifaceted role combines strategic oversight, the commitment to enhancing organizational effectiveness within the healthcare sector. Dr. Maritza, stage is yours. May proceed your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Mr. Panos Gavalas, dear President of the Organizing Committee, Mr. George Psathas, dear President of the Scientific Committee, Professor Adonios Kalokerinos, and dear colleagues. Colleagues, thank you for having me today. Let me share my screen. The final presentation, I think. Okay. And please tell me if we are in. Are we okay?
Perfect.
We have full share. Okay, thank you. So this presentation is aiming to unleash the global trends and at least create a warning sign and or enhance awareness on future challenges and futurism. The essential terms as an introductory term: internationalization, which refers to the increasing importance of international trade, international relations, treaties, alliances. International, of course, means between or among nations. So the basic unit remains the nation, even as those relations become increasingly and necessarily important. And then it is globalization, which refers to a global economic integration of many formerly national economies into a global economy, mainly by free trade, free capital mobility, but also easy and uncontrolled data exchanging. So what was many becomes one. And then it's the metaverse, a virtual parallel universe, a computerized version of ourselves or our societies. So how does this world work? Is it free capital mobility, or is it free data mobility that drives economies? Is it borderless data? Are there any boundaries? Leadership, by definition, is the process by which organization directs agents. There are many agents and systems to achieve common goals. Is this term also applied to the digital universe, these leadership terms that extends beyond the corporate boardroom or the battlefield? How man's metamorphosis from physical to virtual adheres the current cosmos rules? Principles of effective leadership in the metaverse remain consistent when we have authenticity, genuineness, transparency, accountability, and a mindset towards rapid transformation to this new reality. 5.0 AI training, artificial intelligence training, comprises the ability to lead through the digital realms, and it is the way we use AI for better decision-making, a deep understanding of the impact of artificial intelligence on society and business, adaptability in communication, gaining voice skills toward creating a welcoming environment, the tone of my speech today, or the pitch, or the prosody, η προσοδία. So I may talk like adaptability in communication, gaining voice skills, or adaptability in communication, gaining voice skills. So prosody is a thing for AI to search. Authenticity of the leader's digital entity, commitment to inclusivity, different countries, background entities. Giant companies introduce virtual reality, VR, to train more than 1 million associates. They say that when you watch the module through your headset, your brain feels that you actually experience the situation. This way of training is presented as an effective way to cut training time due to the fact that employees can train 4 times faster in soft skills using VR than traditional platforms like a 2-dimensional desktop computer or handheld tablet. So a new era of education and high proficiency training is emerged. Is the world faster the one that drives the future of work? And then it's the meta-diversities. So in a 100% virtual environment, dozens of universities in the United States are brought together in order to offer courses in anatomy, history, and astronomy. Man-metaverse interaction is bi-directional and influential. Universities, labs, use a concept of memory palace where people recall an object or an item by placing it in an imaginary physical location to help the system acquire spatial mnemonic encoding by taking advantage of the human's brain ability to spatially organize thoughts and memories. It's a human ability, a human visual-based memory method to remember information. We use it in cave drawings, printed text. Phrases now that are seen in job posts. I see them in job posts. Everyone sees them in job posts when we want to hire directors of learning. That's the new job role. So we see phrases like, we are not content to merely adopt AI, we have encoded it into our DNA. You will serve as a chief architect between our revolutionary learning ecosystem. You will tap into boundless potential of AI to craft hyper-personalized learning journeys that adapt to each student's unique needs, interests, and aspirations. Also, we see phrases like, you will dive deep into learning analytics. The analytics is a key word, uncovering key insights to drive exponential growth. And this is once in a generation opportunity, very inspirational, once in a generation opportunity to apply AI to education and fundamentally redefine what's possible, not just define, redefine, armed with the predictive power of advanced learning analytics. And finally, we are not just using AI to boost grades, we are unlocking the full force of human potential, all without traditional classroom teachers. So traditional stays behind, and now we have a new force of human potential. And then it's his conscience, athanasia. Our ability to navigate the world depends on the old cortical structure, hippocampus, which plays a critical role for mammals like spatial navigation, episodic memory, and social behavior. Brain-computer interfaces gather brain signals, deciphering and sending commands to a connected system according to the results. The question is, are those brain data utilized in order to create a second living space that is fully human-centric? Is it all about creating an avatar that can think and act and take decisions whether our physical existence is online or not? Will the avatar be an autonomous entity? Is the transition of man's conscience to the avatar the step towards immortality, athanasia? In Society 5.0, it is said that it is no longer capital, but data that connects and drives everything. Is data exchanging a new global currency? Is this a meta barter exchange system? So if data is what connects us, this may be a meta barter exchange system. Also, if Society 4.0 allows people to access and share information on the internet, Society 5.0 is an era where all technology is part of humanity itself. Communication systems develop so rapidly that persistently transform web into a second living space. Is metaverse an autonomous, surreal world? The pandemic outbreak, COVID-19, forced workers to remote work, and remote work resulted in the efficiency of workers beyond any scenario that business leaders ever imagined. Yet, during the pandemic, it was also seen that colleagues miss each other in the hallway, in the kitchen catch up, in these everyday talks that we have in our works. So VR became all about achieving the best possible conceiving scenario of human interaction and human interconnectivity. According to Bloomberg, in 2024, the slice of market opportunity has a potential to reach nearly $800 billion. So now, where are we going? Are we going to an economic growth, which is business monitor their profits and their market share, or an economic development? Is this new market growth leading to human development? because there are different terms. Growth has a specific lifespan. So development stays for longer. So is this new market growth leading to human development, longevity, education, income? An empty signifier. That's how I call the metaverse. It's an empty signifier. And what does the eye of the leader sees here? Definitions of the metaverse vary and include game platforms, social networks, virtual workplaces, developers that manage crypto-based identity or online retailers. It is an idea of an immersive, all-encompassing online universe. The eye of the leader also sees that researchers refer to companies that use less bombastic term, and there is a reason that they use a less bombastic term, ambient computing, to refer to persistently being online rather than sitting down purposefully and access an online content. An empty signifier means that the word metaverse is vague and it is subjected to interpreters' perception or purposeful willing. So there is a lot to be said in this place, in this space of term. Corporate training in the metaverse. And what does the eye of the leader sees? It sees that giant companies massively recruit people in the metaverse parks that couldn't be welcomed at once in their premises. Also, these companies have created environments to bring their people together, meet, collaborate, and learn in these metaverse parks. Also, they have created digital twins of many of its physical offices to provide familiar environments for its people. Is it the beginning of a new socio-era constructed by constantly web-connected individuals and collectivities? Do we have an optimum symbiosis of physical and virtual worlds? The eye of the leader sees that here we have we buy a beer. This is a physical space with our credit cards. And here we have buying a beer in a virtual space with NFTs. What is an NFT? It's a non-fungible token, a digital asset that is stored on the blockchain and represents a value and ownership of a physical or virtual project, maybe only virtual, art, wine, whatever we want to frame as an NFT. And it works like a cryptocurrency, but while Bitcoin is fungible, okay, each one is the same. Bitcoin doesn't change. The NFTs is unique. It's non-fungible. So again, it seems like a barter economy, a virtual barter economy. In 1991, Mark Weiser, the head of Xerox PARC Computer Science Laboratory, defined the new entry technology as ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous computing is a concept that allows computers themselves to vanish in the background. This is the super identity behind the idea of metaverse. The vanished background, the concept of a technology that is invisible but useful in order to diminish existing friction of technology users or future technology users towards a frictionless economy. It's like living in, like being in there with no frictions, no computers behind. And here we have a dinner party with family and friends that could attend. It is a physical space and they are consuming physical products and commodities.
2 minutes left.
Thank you. And here is a dinner party with family and friends that live far away, virtual space. So they're consuming extended reality products and commodities. Do we have an optimum symbiosis? Are we ready for this? The main terms presented here were frictionless economy, barter economy, a parallel universe, ambient computing, 5.0 longevity, a virtual human metamorphosis for sure, immortality, athanasia, and this is the leadership in the metaverse this is leadership through the lens of metaverse. And this is my email. Thank you for having me. And I welcome any questions or comments. I'm stopping the share screen.
Thank you very, very much. In fact, we do have a couple of questions on the line. One coming from Professor Kalakerinos. I will read it out loud. And Professor Kalakerinos, would you like to address your question yourself?
You can share it.
Okay. So here it goes. Metaverse, is metaverse AI? Does it promote human isolation? And what are the differences between virtual reality and the metaverse?
Okay. Thank you, Professor Kalakerinos. So when we say frictionless economy and a frictionless environment, we forget about our physical existence. It's not like we are here. We have the screens. There is the acoustic, the voice. This is friction for the new economy. And we want frictionless economy. We want to use technology and create digital twins, living there. And the more we live in there, feeling like this is our environment, the more we have a frictionless economy. And we consume constantly, web connected. It feels like real. We learn faster. When we talk about, and it's also the new concept of the anthropos. I don't know if you have heard for transhumanism. It's also the transhumanism that will enhance this opportunity of metaverse. So transhumanism is between human and post-humans. They improve, a transhuman has improved intelligence, awareness, and strength. He has powers and abilities beyond those of standard humans. So at the beginning, yes?